On the variety show, I called my sworn enemy to play a prank. Can you lend me $2 million to buy a dress? The other side replied, you can just skin me and wear my hide. The next second, a message popped up. Your bank card received a real-time interbank transfer of $10 million at 08:13 on September 11th. In the variety show game, the requirement was to call a friend in the entertainment circle and guide the other party to say a specified sentence without revealing that it was a recording. The sentence was determined by drawing lots. I opened the note and my vision went dark. Topic: Are you out of your mind? What a niche topic. As weird as a listening comprehension question. It's so difficult. I begged the director to change the question for my sister Sherry. Tiffany unexpectedly leaned closer and casually took my arm, shaking it. You little brat. You sure have a lot of drama. We've known each other for less than half an hour. And now you're pretending we're close sisters. I forced a smile and refused. It's okay. No need to change it. Who the hell is this Sherry? Tiffany is clearly being nice to her. But who is she showing her bad temper to? Tiffany is so poor. She even gets bullied on this variety show. Is she a woman who engages in female competition? She's dismissive of girls but keeps chatting with men. I've been watching her for several episodes. She was chatting and laughing with Rex. She's clearly trying to charm men. Tiffany, ignore her. You treat her as a good friend, but she treats you as a tool. I lowered my head and ignored the bullet comments, thinking about who to call. Decent people wouldn't say such a thing. Except for, but if I can't complete the task, I'll have to team up with Tiffany. I sighed and glanced at the person who was pretending to interact with the other side of the screen. What are you guys talking about? I'm very familiar with Sister Sherry. I like Sister Sherry. And Sister Sherry is also very nice to me. Forget it. Between being disgusted for a minute and being disgusted for a day, I still know which one to choose. The waiting tone sounded, and the high-definition camera of the filming crew accurately captured the note I had for the film Emperor Sebastian on my phone. Pretty boy with a nice but a poisonous tongue. Damn it. How could I forget about the note? The whole audience gave me complex looks, and I forced a couple of laughs. Ahem. It was the result of a failed dare. I forgot to change it back. The fancy ringtone kept ringing. As expected, the call would fail in another 10 seconds. An awkward and strange atmosphere filled the air. Tiffany patted my shoulder as if to comfort me. It doesn't matter. Sebastian filmed a night scene yesterday. He's probably sleeping right now. Oh, so you know that too. Pretty boy with a nice butt. I have to say it's very accurate. Ha 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 ha. Can he support a bottle of soda with his butt? Please. Sister Sherry. Let him try it. What are the fans of the man-charming Sherry getting excited about? This note is so disrespectful. I can only say that the fans are just like their idol. Isn't it okay for friends to have a good relationship before? Besides, didn't Sherry explain that it was because of a dare? Why are everyone's attention wandering? The sweet moment is clearly that Tiffany knows Sebastian's schedule, and she knows he's sleeping. Are they dating? I don't care. They must be dating. A relative of my friend who works in the entertainment industry said that Sebastian and Tiffany have been dating for a long time but just haven't gone public. It said that they even spent the spring festival together this year. Sherry is so shameless. She's calling right in front of his girlfriend and even showing off such an ambiguous note. She's crazy about trying to throw herself at him. This is how a brainless green tea behaves. Finally, the call was connected. Hello. The male's hoarse and tired voice echoed in the studio, accompanied by a slightly heavy breathing sound, which was tingly. He was clearly lying on the bed, in a lazy position. I looked at Tiffany, who had a shy face. No way. Are they really dating? Oh. I offer my condolences to your taste. A crepe. Sebastian sounded a bit impatient and spoke in an affected manner. Miss Sherry, it's 8 o'clock Beijing time now, and I've only slept for 2 hours. I hope you really have something important to say. I came back to my senses and said the carefully prepared lines. Can you lend me $2 million to buy clothes? Scold me. Hurry up and scold me. The other side's breathing paused. And it took a while for him to speak. You can just skin me and wear my hide. The teasing looks of the host and the guests were passed around. On the bullet comments, there were nothing but, ha ha ha, and mockery of me trying to please someone who didn't care. I didn't give up. Taking a deep breath, I started to be absurd. Even if you stand naked in front of me, I'll still rummage through your pants pockets and use your phone to transfer money to myself. Sorry. I can't do anything to hurt a man. But your little money is mine now. Sebastian was silent, and there was only the rustling sound of his skin rubbing against the fabric. Surely he'll scold me now. However, after a mocking snort, the call was mercilessly hung up. Without any hesitation, the busy tone faded into the noise of the scene. The host awkwardly tried to save the situation. It seems that Mr. Sebastian is really a bit tired after staying up all night. The bullet comments started surging like crazy again. He doesn't even want to pay attention to you. Sherry, have some self-awareness. This is so sweet. Sebastian was really sleeping. Maybe Tiffany was still lying in the same bed with him 2 hours ago. Sherry, get lost. You know he has a girlfriend but still try to get involved. We thought Tiffany was speaking up for you before. People who stab others in the back will end up badly. I felt like crying but had no tears. Sebastian usually had such a sharp tongue that he could make himself dizzy for 3 days after speaking. Why is he so unreliable when it comes to something important? The camera still persistently focused on my phone. I frowned and tried to exit when a text message popped up from the top. Your bank card received a real-time interbank transfer of $10,000,000 at 08:13 on September 11th. 10 million. Is Sebastian confused from sleeping? Such a large amount of money is like he's paying for my funeral. The whole audience was in an uproar. Everyone took a sharp intake of breath and stared at that string of overly long numbers. Unable to come back to their senses for a long time, the host exclaimed, "Did Mr. Sebastian transfer this money?" No. It might be the salary from the studio. Messages from Sebastian kept appearing on the chat interface. I gave you the little money. I'm really not wearing any clothes either. Have the guts to answer the video call. The next second, the video call ringtone sounded throughout the studio. My blood was boiling, and my heart was beating irregularly and too fast. The urgent ringing was like a time bomb ticking towards destruction. Damn Sebastian. Can you shake your brain before replying to messages? It makes us look like adulterers. What's going on? Isn't Sebastian dating Tiffany? Could they be having an affair behind Tiffany's back? Tiffany's lips have turned white. I feel so sorry for her. Scumbag man and cheap woman. They're so despicable. Come on. The famous paparazzi in the entertainment industry followed Sebastian for 3 months, 24 hours a day, and found that apart from filming during the day, he would secretly leave the film crew at night to go to an internet cafe and play Plants vs. Zombies. For someone like him, to be honest, it's hard for him to even be in a relationship. How could he be a scumbag? Tiffany's fans. Stop barking randomly. Ha ha ha. The sister upstairs is making me laugh. Although I really don't want to admit it. Sebastian does have the constitution of being destined to be single for life. The fans of Mr. Sebastian are just low-key, not dead. Why are you spreading rumors about him being a scumbag here? Maybe it's some shameless person who offered themselves to him. How low can your sister Sherry go? I held my phone, feeling caught between a rock and a hard place. Finally, I forced myself to squeeze out a bleak smile and loudly greeted the other guests. Mr. Sebastian must have guessed that we're recording a show and deliberately called. Let's chat with him for a while together. Sorry, my butt isn't nice enough to take this blame. Everyone, help me share it. I raised my arm and held my phone high, ensuring that the camera could capture everyone at the scene. Tiffany's resentful expression finally turned into a coquettish one. She twirled her hair twice, pursed her lips, and squeezed to the front. Great. I've already written the public relations draft. First of all, I didn't hang up the video but answered it, which shows that I'm open and have a clear conscience. Secondly, if they are really dating, I'll buy some drafts saying that I'm crazy about their CP and am actively matchmaking them. If they're not dating, it's just right to divert the fire and let netizens scold the affected Tiffany and the suddenly exhibitionist Sebastian. What a perfect plan. What a smart brain. The morning light was soft, and what came into view was the clear and neat muscle lines on the man's forearm. Sebastian was lying on the bed, with half of his face buried in the soft quilt. His black hair was slightly curled. His eyes and eyebrows were lazy. His lip line was cold, and his back rose and fell faintly with his breathing. I then let out a long sigh of relief. Thank goodness. He's wearing an old-fashioned black undershirt. It won't rise to the level of a restricted level scene. The next moment, Sebastian subtly froze and stared at the nearly 10 people with black figures on the screen. Sebastian. Good morning. Are you tired? It seems like you haven't had a good rest. Tiffany's eyes were shining brightly, and her words were full of concern. Sebastian's eyebrows began to unconsciously lower, and his jawline tensed. I silently shrank my face to the corner of the viewfinder. I'm doomed. He had the same expression of wanting to die when he found out that I mixed depilatory cream into his shaving cream last time. But Tiffany didn't notice at all and smiled even more brightly. Sister, pay more attention. The sound from the receiver was amplified dozens of times through the on-site speakers, and I could even hear Sebastian grinding his teeth. Sherry, do you think I'm so blind that I can't see you? What? Have you changed your career to be a madam now? Are you holding a debut ceremony for me here? Do you need me to take off all my clothes and twist a bit to liven things up? One after another. Angry questions came crashing down. The surrounding air was wrapped in silence, and the host was so stunned that they couldn't even respond. All that was left in the whole venue was the white noise of various devices running, which persisted. Suddenly, Sebastian turned over and sat up without warning. His puppy-like eyes squinted into slits, and he laughed freely and unruly, and his voice became clear. It was like the pride after a successful prank. Just a bad joke. Are you all scared like this? Sebastian is so bad. I was really scared just now. Tiffany pouted angrily and puffed out her cheeks. Sebastian's mouth twitched twice, and he pulled his lips to reveal his canine teeth. His smooth-haired look in the morning made him look harmless. MS. Tiffany is here too. I just saw you. What a masterful display of changing expressions. What an unexpected happy ending for the whole family. I looked at Sebastian, who was chatting obediently with the host, and felt a sense of respect. I really don't envy him for making money. He was so angry that he wanted to kill someone just now, but now he's smiling like a sweet girl. No wonder he can deceive so many fans. Who is with whom? I'm confused. Logically speaking, shouldn't we have seen Tiffany first? Ha ha ha. Am I the only one who thinks he knew that Tiffany was also on the show? So he deliberately played a trick and used Sherry to make an Instagram call to show off. But then he saw his girlfriend's face when he opened the video, and he was a bit embarrassed. So he could only speak without thinking and interact with Sherry. CP fans, don't be too scary. Okay. No. Are the fans who ship Tiffany and Sebastian really not paid trolls? Obviously. The interaction between Sherry and Sebastian has more tension. I agree. The feelings may not be real, but the money definitely is. That's $10 million. 10 million. Who cares who's with whom? I just want to see a man without clothes on. Stop shipping them. Go check out the latest hot searches quickly. Your sister Sherry can pass through a sea of men without getting attached to any of them. It'll be hard for Sebastian to catch up with her even if he offers $10 million. The direction of public opinion was inexplicable. Netizens began to wonder why I was unusually calm and indifferent to Sebastian, who claimed to be not wearing any clothes. Finally, they found out that I was either ordering male models or on my way to order male models in private. Even a manager without professional ethics released a secretly filmed video. The light in the private room was dim and mysterious, and I loudly accused while looking at the model cards. Is this what a gigolo looks like? When they sit next to me, I thought they ordered me instead. Not a single passerby wasn't laughing. Some busybodies even intercepted the unethical headline from a Hong Kong media outlet as a joke. Charming pretty boy night. Sherry is busy being a herbivore. So mean. So mean. For several consecutive days, the grand occasion of the hot searches didn't fade. After scolding me severely, my manager said that there were already love variety shows and scripts with one woman and multiple men that had come knocking on the door. Well, it's just a bit of notoriety. Being infamously popular is still a form of popularity, and I don't mind. However, 56 hours after I started happily waiting for the benefits of the popularity, I was summoned by my elders at home overnight. The reason given was, go home to get engaged. Their unanimous excuse was that the entertainment industry was too chaotic, and even a simple girl like me had been contaminated. I must find someone to settle down with as soon as possible. Haha. What a fresh and refined excuse. But I wasn't that resistant anyway. The plots in novels where wealthy children run away for free love and refuse to take on family responsibilities are just written by authors whose brains have been completely smashed by a door. Come on. Who would give up the money from their own family, the money from their future partner's family, and the even more money created after the two families cooperate just for love? I asked my family to invite the 4 potential male guests to the same coffee shop at different times in the same afternoon. A flowing banquet is more convenient. Ryan, a fair-skinned, cheerful little puppy who blushes easily. Not bad. Keep the sign and give him a sachet. Taemin, a calm, noble, and intelligent man with beautiful fingers. Hee hee. Keep the sign. Virgil, a humorous, arrogant, Siberian husky, with dimples. Keep it. Keep it. Keep it. Can't I really have them all? Then I'll have a main wife, beautiful concubines, and mistresses. The sun was setting, and the sunset cut out bright patches on the table corner through the glass. The Panama Geisha coffee beside me was almost cold. TSK. The 4th male guest is late. If you don't come soon, you'll be kicked out of my harem lineup. Since I was idle anyway, I opened my phone and planned to curse Sebastian for some fun. After all, he played a part in forcing me to end my happy single life so quickly. The donkey really didn't do anything all day except kick your head. Why take off your clothes just for some idle banter? Great. Now I've been dragged home for a blind date. My great cause. I haven't even had the chance to throw a striptease party at home yet. Is my life going to enter the grave this soon? The 4th guy is late for too long. Damn it. I have a hunch that this man with no sense of time must be a rich, generous but bald kappa. No way. I must indulge myself tonight. I won't return that 10 million. Consider it your contribution to the midnight entertainment industry in our city. Although I never intended to return it to you in the first place. Guys with big pecs, well-defined abs, and a mermaid line. Whether they're black or white, I'll have them all tonight. So exciting. Oh no. He's here. I can tell from the footsteps that he's greasy. The door was pushed open by the attendant from the outside. The rich sandalwood fragrance in the corridor mixed with a bit of cold wind rushed in. I turned my head and looked back. The incredibly long legs were perfectly wrapped in long trousers, and the crisp black leather jacket had an excellent texture. He raised his hand and waved his phone at me. The sapphires embedded in the outer ring of the sports mechanical watch on his wrist bone, which usually sold for over $1 million, refracted fine light spots. He was young, handsome, and wealthy. He glanced at the chat box full of messages with a half-mocking look. His tone was lazy and gentle. Using my money to seek excitement. Why don't you take your fiancé with you? It'll be more exciting to play together. The pink sunset dimmed the autumn day. Looking out of the window downstairs, the Tiffany River flowing through the city shimmered with light and shadow. It was a beautiful moment. Of course, this required ignoring the certain man opposite who was obliviously ordering scones, croissants, and soufflés. Dude, have you been starved for 3 days and just released? Can someone tell me why my sworn enemy is on the arranged marriage list? Did you come to the blind date just to mooch off the food? When Sebastian took his third bite of the cream, I couldn't help but speak. Who said I'm just filling in the number? I was speechless. Wow. Could it be that you have a crush on me? Sebastian's gaze casually swept over me, and he smiled faintly. Anyway, we're going to get married. We're practically childhood friends and a perfect match. Isn't that better than being with a stranger? Damn you. He secretly wiped snot on my school bag in kindergarten. He played the barber in primary school and shaved my head bald. He showed off his basketball skills in junior high school and knocked me into the hospital. He secretly burned the love letters the handsome guy gave me in high school. These are all capital crimes. Too numerous to mention. A stack of documents was thrown in front of me, promptly stopping my anger that was on the verge of burst. Sebastian raised his eyebrows and lazily leaned back in the chair. Take a look first. I patiently lowered my head and browsed through the specific contents. Medical examination reports. Studio financial statements. Personal asset settlement sheets. Prenuptial property agreements. I suggest you focus on the 8 infectious disease tests in the first document. They're all negative. Sebastian took a sip of water and tapped his fingertips on his knee. As for the others, I guess you're only interested in how much money you can get. That information is on the last page of the prenuptial agreement. On the basis of equality, voluntariness, and fairness. After friendly consultation, Party A, Sebastian, voluntarily gifts the following assets to Party B, Sherry. 1. Several properties. 2. Several vehicles. In case of a breakdown of the relationship and divorce, 70% of Party A's assets shall belong to Party B. Damn it. I'm really tempted. One can't give up money just for the sake of dignity, right? But I feel that there's something fishy about it. I cleared my throat and pretended to be reserved. Excuse me. What's in it for you? There are so many people who are bewitched by your appearance. Just like Tiffany last time. If she could marry you, she'd be over the moon even without a bride price. Why do you have to go to so much trouble with me? Sebastian rested his left hand on his brow bone and looked out the window. I want some peace and quiet. Then we can each do our own thing. You can definitely use my money to splurge in the bar. His voice paused, and a wanton smile rippled in his eyes. As for that Tiffany, I'm looking for a wife. Not really going to help the poor. The gap in our looks will only make me feel like I'm being taken advantage of. Your narcissistic nature has really remained the same for 25 years. Well, what do you think? Consider it. Sebastian slowly handed me a pen. Sign now. And the money I promised you will be transferred to your account tonight. Oh, come on. You're being long-winded. Sign. I must sign. Sign right away. The autumn rain was like strands of silk, and the wet stone pavement reflected the honey-colored glow of the street lamps. My hand was held tightly, and I was wrapped in a coat that still retained the man's warmth, making my limbs feel cozy. I gritted my teeth and said, "Aren't you overacting?" Sebastian smiled brightly and nodded as he held an umbrella and said goodbye to my parents. How else can we deceive everyone if we don't act realistically? On the third day after reaching a friendly cooperation, Sebastian wasted no time in taking me to meet both our parents. He acted like a chaste man who would marry no one but me. I was only able to pull my hand away until the Bentley my parents were riding in disappeared at the intersection. My palm was soaked with damp sweat, and I couldn't tell whose it was. We have a purely financial relationship. It's not appropriate to be so touchy-feely. Sebastian's smile faded. You also have a purely financial relationship with male models, but you still touch their abs with great enthusiasm, don't you? How can that be the same? Sizz. I suddenly felt a sharp pain, and my eyebrows and eyes scrunched together. What's wrong? I said angrily. I'm angry because of you. Sebastian's black eyes swept over me, and he said softly, "Stomachache may not be a serious illness, but it can be really agonizing when it hurts. Did you install a monitor on me?" Seeing my suspicion, Sebastian looked as if he understood. You're usually too lazy to take a single extra step, and you rely on starving yourself to lose weight. Even a cat eats more than you did at the dinner table just now. It would be strange if you didn't feel uncomfortable. Humph. Do you think everyone is like you? Eating sweets every day without getting cavities or gaining weight. It's really hard for us female celebrities. Okay. Sebastian let out an inexplicable sigh, and his voice was so gentle that it was almost bewitching. Check the pocket of the coat. The pocket of the men's coat was very deep. It took me a while to rummage through it and find a small porcelain bottle. A medicine for stomachache. I looked at Sebastian in surprise, and he raised his eyebrows proudly. It's magic. Due to work reasons, Sebastian will stay abroad for a month, and I also wasted no time in joining a new film crew. Ah, the taste of freedom. This engagement is really worth it. During the break between filming, the makeup artist was touching up my face with loose powder and lipstick, and my assistant, Helen, rushed over and whispered in my ear, "Sister Sherry, there's someone outside who said they came to visit you on the set. His name is Ryan, and he brought a lot of desserts and milk tea. The director is asking you to go out and greet him." Ryan, the fair-skinned little puppy from the blind date list. We followed each other on Instagram and chatted a bit at that time. Later, I was busy with the engagement to Sebastian and then went into the mountains with the film crew where the signal was poor, so we didn't contact each other again. However, even if the arranged marriage didn't work out, there's still some kindness left. He's really a nice person who brought delicious food from afar. God knows how I've been enduring my days in the mountains. There wasn't much good food to begin with, and Helen, for some crazy reason, kept making me these tasteless, nutritious meals every day on the pretext that I have a bad stomach. I can go hungry to lose weight, but I can't eat grass every day just to lose weight. Ah, little desserts. Here I come. There were boxes of exquisite gift boxes placed on the open ground. The black and gold boxes had the logo of a popular three-diamond Black Pearl restaurant in Hyshire, a fictional city name, printed on them. At a glance, it was obvious that they were very expensive. The crowd was surging towards the place where the desserts were being distributed. Ryan was wearing a gray knitted cardigan with denim long pants, and the black-rimmed glasses he wore covered almost half of his face. He turned his head in the crowd, and his pupils quickly focused. "Sister Sherry." Ryan carried a serving of dessert and ran a few steps to my side, walking with me towards the resting room. "This is for you. It's a reduced sugar version. I heard from Uncle and Aunt that the film crew is in City A. Coincidentally, I came here to handle some work, so I could visit the set. Seeing that you're in good condition with my own eyes, I can tell Uncle and Aunt, and they'll be more at ease." Ryan's voice was clear and refreshing, like spring water in summer. He chattered on, but it wasn't annoying. Everyone was gathered in the open area outside, and there was no one in the resting room. I relaxed and joked with him. "Then you mustn't tell them that we rely on small heaters for warmth in the crew. I'm afraid they'll make a fuss and send air conditioners into the mountains." Ryan laughed until his shoulders shook. He raised his hand to unwrap the dessert and pushed the delicate dessert towards me. "It has a mango pomelo sago filling and a white chocolate mousse shell. I guess you'll like it. It's delicious." No wonder Sebastian is so obsessed with sweets. This is simply cat treats for humans, making people bubble with happiness. "Sister Sherry, are you engaged to Sebastian?" Ryan pursed his lips and tilted his head slightly. There was a hint of inquiry in his eyes. The family backgrounds of Sebastian and me haven't been made public, but everyone in the same circle knows about them. Naturally, the engagement between our two families couldn't be hidden. I nodded indifferently, with all my attention on the little moose. If I skip dinner, I can create a calorie deficit and stuff the whole cake in. It's a perfect plan. Ryan's expression suddenly became a bit unnatural, and the tips of his ears turned red as if they were bleeding. "Since you haven't officially gotten engaged yet, can you consider me again?" "Ha!" I opened my eyes wide and looked up. The incredibly well-behaved boy in front of me lowered his eyelashes and didn't dare to look at me. His voice weakened, and he said something astonishing again. "If that really doesn't work, I'm willing to be the concubine." "What?" Cough, cough, cough. "Sister Sherry, that Ryan. Don't mention those 3 words to me. I just managed to send that troublesome kid away the day before yesterday after much persuasion. Helen, please spare me. I'm really dizzy from filming now, and I don't have the energy to think about whether to find a long-term concubine. Helen changed the subject. And there's also Sebastian. I frowned and said, I don't want to hear his name either. Helen fell silent and anxiously stuffed the tablet into my hands. It was the entertainment section on the tablet. She pointed to it, and the topic related to me was rising rapidly. Hashtag Sherry is two-timing hashtag. Hashtag Sherry is a mistress hashtag. What the hell is this? What do I need to salvage? Salvage the poor fates of those poor men. Helen stammered beside me, organizing her words. This morning, photos from the day of the set visit were first leaked. At first, netizens were just having fun and the discussion focused on how handsome Ryan is. But suddenly the direction of the public opinion changed. Someone dug up that Ryan is the youngest son of the A group. So all sorts of slurs like being money-grubbing, vain, and clinging to the powerful were thrown at you. That's one. Ship. So what about the other one? And the sneak peeks from the previous filming crew are now being examined under a microscope. They said that the coat you casually threw on the chair is Mr. Sebastian's, because it's a certain global custom-made piece from brand M. And currently, only Mr. Sebastian has been given one. Oh, I remember now. Last time when we were acting in front of the elders, Sebastian draped a coat over me. Later, he didn't even think about taking it back. So I promoted it to a butt cushion. Damn Sebastian. That show off. Why did he have to wear a global custom-made coat for no reason? Up to this point, it wasn't too bad. After all, there was no solid evidence. But Tiffany updated a post. Helen hesitated for 2 seconds and switched the tablet interface. Sister, you can see for yourself. Tiffany's latest post with pictures and text on her homepage was posted half an hour ago. Exactly at 1:14 p.m. Tiffany, don't worry. We're all fine. The attached picture was a check-in photo at an amusement park. Tiffany was holding a Merle Border Collie and covering her face with a big smile. On the other side was a clown performing a card magic trick to please the tourists. The vaguely suggestive words made fans and passers-by go crazy. Wah! Sister is so beautiful. Is this an official announcement? Where's the male lead? Can't you tell from the picture? The most famous border collie in the entertainment industry is Sebastian. OMG. I just found out that the green tea sister next door is shamelessly clinging to Ryan while still being entangled with Sebastian. Tiffany is really confronting the mistress head-on. Come on. She's not even worthy of being called a mistress. Tiffany doesn't even take her seriously. Why is there a clown in the picture? Isn't it implying that a certain Sherry is a clown and has no impact on Tiffany and Sebastian's relationship? Damn it. I was wondering why this picture looked a bit messy. So there's a hidden meaning. But how do you explain the global custom-made coat? If Sebastian didn't give it to her, could Sherry have stolen it? I guess you're a fan of that green tea Sherry upstairs. There's nothing your sister wouldn't do. The picture is so blurry. Maybe she got a counterfeit and is trying to create a CP scandal with it. I agree. She's really a clown. LOL. She used to market herself as a strong female lead with the image of men are just passers-by. And I won't be attached to any of them. Now she's exposed. In fact, she's just a vain woman who wants to climb the social ladder and knows that he has a girlfriend but still tries to get involved. What a cheap woman. A bitch in the domestic entertainment industry. Why hasn't she quit the industry yet? I'm a pure passerby. And I really think you guys are being ridiculous. In my opinion. At least Sherry can ensure the quality of every drama she acts in. What about Tiffany? She keeps boasting about how her acting skills have improved. But in fact, she's just being affected and is nothing but a vase. How dare her fans ask others to quit the industry? I didn't dare to open my eyes, hoping it was just my illusion. It's so annoying. Really annoying. In just one afternoon, my homepage was almost completely invaded by various people. My fans were powerless to control the flood of abuse. Surprisingly, my manager didn't yell at me. She just informed me that there were powerful forces behind this incident and the company would handle it well. The director also came over and patted my shoulder. He told me to focus on filming and that public opinion would eventually be forgotten. There are still so many kind people around me. Except for my certain newly engaged fiancé who specifically called to kick me when I was down. Although we agreed to do our own things. Isn't this a bit too much of a commotion? Sebastian should still be abroad. The noisy ambient sounds around him reached my ears through the radio waves. And I could occasionally make out a few English words. It's all thanks to your coat and that fanatical wannabe girlfriend who's eager to take my place. Otherwise, the public opinion now would be that I'm going to become the new young mistress of the Ryan family. Ryan, do you really like guys with a skinny build? There was no discernible emotion in Sebastian's tone. I retorted without thinking. He's willing to be my concubine. Sebastian clearly paused for a moment and then sneered. The eldest son of the Ryan family is in politics. And the second son is in business. The family's resources and right to speak have already been divided up quite a bit. Ryan doesn't have the money to sign a prenuptial agreement as outrageous as mine. And it's even more impossible for him to help you clarify the scandal regardless of the consequences. I smiled. But he's willing to be my concubine. There was a heavy sigh on the other end of the phone. And then, beep, 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 humph. Trying to compete with me. No way. It was almost 11 o'clock when I finished filming the night scene. The trees in the mountains were lush. Helen was dutifully applying the insect-repelling potion on me. So, how's it going? Have they started cursing my ancestors yet? I took the phone from her hand wearily, to avoid being affected by my emotions. I had been offline the whole night. Helen shook her head, her eyes shining brightly, and a doting auntie smile on her face. What on earth was going on? There's something strange in these mountains. Did something possess my little assistant? She was so excited that she was dancing around. Mr. Sebastian fought against 100 anti today, engaged in 300 rounds of battle, and cleared Sister Sherry's name. Tiffany finally played with fire and burned herself. Her popularity among the public has collapsed, and it's unlikely that she'll ever make a comeback. Humph. You actually have the potential to be a storyteller. Forget it. I'll just check it myself. I didn't need to look hard. The topic about Sebastian responding to fans in the comment section had already topped the hot search list. Some entertainment official accounts even made a special compilation. Netizen. The coat definitely isn't Sebastian's. After the first wear of a global custom-made piece, it has to be sent back to the brand. How could such an expensive coat be given to Sherry and let her casually throw it around on the set? Sebastian. It's mine. I've bought it. Netizen. The mountains, rivers, islands all belong to Tiffany. Sebastian and Tiffany's names match so well. They're literally a match made in heaven. Sebastian. I'm not really familiar with this person. Netizen. Is the thing between Sherry and the third young master of the Ryan family true? It actually looks a bit sweet. Sebastian. Fake. Couldn't be faker. In just a few minutes, it attracted everyone's attention. Wah. It's real. It's the real Mr. Sebastian. It reversed so quickly. The CP I was shipping has broken up. I'm a bit confused. So is Tiffany the two-faced one. Come on. Tiffany just posted a beautiful photo and didn't say anything else. Isn't everything else just people's imagination? You can't blame Tiffany for that. Right. What are Tiffany's fans trying to excuse? It's not the first time your idol has manipulated the traffic and forced the CP on us. We're not stupid. Not familiar with Tiffany. So you're very familiar with Sherry. Right. He lent 10 million with a casual gesture last time. And this time he gave a global custom-made coat. Bro. You're really in love. I was chased and scolded like I committed a great sin for shipping Sebastian and Sherry before. I never thought there would finally be a day of vindication. Never mind. This time it's different. They must be for real. I looked up, facing Helen, who had pink bubbles in her heart and a gratified smile on her face. I didn't know how to react. We had originally agreed to have a secret marriage. Now Sebastian's series of actions are so intense. He may be satisfied, but it's hard to prevent others from suspecting that there's really something between me and him. Heaven and earth as my witness. I haven't even touched his abs. The business car stopped at the entrance of a small hotel in the county town. I said goodbye to Helen, entered the hotel, and pressed the elevator button. The filming location was remote, and finding accommodation like this was already considered good. That's why the director had booked 3 floors as the film crew's base camp. The corridor on the top floor was extremely quiet at the moment, and the sound of footsteps faded into the velvet carpet. I lowered my head and rummaged through my bag for the room card. I didn't know when the wooden door quietly slid open. In an unexpected moment, everything spun around, and a pair of arms unceremoniously pulled me into the room. It was dim inside, and I couldn't see clearly. All I could smell was a faint scent of alcohol and the warm, clean smell of the clothes fragrance. I was stiff all over, but I relaxed when I smelled the familiar scent. The man opposite buried his entire face in my neck. I had just come in from outside, and my skin was cold. Suddenly, his hot breath hit my skin, and the tiny hairs on my body uncontrollably trembled. He spoke in a coquettish and muffled voice. "You're finally back, Sebastian. What the hell are you up to again? Can someone tell me why a drunk person is in my room? Is the security really that lax?" Sebastian was really heavy. As I pushed him, I tried to bring him back to his senses. "Stop acting drunk." Sebastian sniffled. "Don't push me away. Who's the one setting the conditions here?" My phone vibrated in my backpack. I managed to free one hand and ruffled his head randomly. Like petting a dog. "Be good. I need to answer the phone." Sebastian slowly straightened up and stared at me intently. It was as if he was checking if I was lying to him. Humph. So childish. I took out my phone, and the caller ID showed Ryan. Okay. One of the main characters in the gossip news has appeared. In the dim environment, the light from the phone screen stunned my nerves. I squinted unconsciously, and unexpectedly, my hand suddenly felt empty. Sebastian held my phone, his eyes and eyebrows looking serious. "What on earth are you doing? Give it back to me." My voice trailed off into a scream as my feet left the ground. To maintain my balance, I had to hold on to Sebastian's back tightly. Although he was delirious, he walked steadily while carrying me backward. I struggled but to no avail, and I could only feel helpless. "Do you want to throw me out of the window? Murdering your fiancé isn't a good idea." I don't know which word triggered him, but Sebastian threw me onto the bed directly. He bent his knees and leaned over me. The window beside the bed was close to the street lamp, and I finally managed to see his tense jawline in the honey-colored light. Sebastian neatly held down my flailing arms, and with his other hand, he precisely turned on the speakerphone and threw the phone next to my ear. I was forced to talk to Ryan in this strange position. "Sister Sherry, I'm sorry. I didn't expect that the set visit would cause you so much trouble. You're not angry with me, are you?" Sebastian's lips moved around my shoulders and neck, lingering, and gently brushed against my pulse. I gritted my teeth and held back the itch. "It's okay. It's just netizens making unfounded speculations. It's all been resolved now, hasn't it?" Ryan gave a bitter smile. "In that case, can Sister Sherry consider the thing I mentioned last time again?" Sebastian leaned closer again, and his canine teeth bit down on my earlobe. A tingling sensation spread from the base of my spine all the way up. My blood felt hot and chaotic. Sister Sherry, what's wrong?" I controlled my breathing. "It's nothing. I was just startled by a stray dog on the street. I'll hang up now. I still need to discuss tomorrow's scenes with the screenwriter." Ryan didn't suspect anything. After telling me to rest early, there was only the clear beep of the phone hanging up. Ignoring everything else, I immediately tried to break free with my hands and feet. "Sebastian, are you crazy?" I looked at him in disbelief, into his eyes filled with surging emotions, and stared at him as even his breathing was trembling. "Sherry, I've had enough. I'm fed up with pretending to be magnanimous. saying that we won't interfere with each other. While in my heart, I wish I could chain myself and give it to you. I'm fed up with enduring it alone, watching other men go crazy trying to court you. And I don't even have the right to ask about it. I'm fed up with being cautious. Even when being nice to you, I have to find all sorts of lame excuses. Afraid that we won't even be able to be friends. Sebastian's hoarse voice lowered, as if he was whispering, "Please, I'm begging you to look at me now. If your love can be divided among many people, why can't I be one of them?" The tears that had welled up fell on my cheeks, then flowed down my jaw to my collarbone, turning from hot to cold. Sebastian stubbornly looked into my eyes, seeking an answer. I began to lose track of the scent on him. Clean, harmonious, sharp, and mixed with the elusive aroma unique to male hormones. A strange feeling spread silently, and my heartbeats became irregular and sank. The world seemed to slow down. I tried my best to recall why Sebastian's sadness hurt my nerves so much, like fine fibers piercing my skin. Maybe it was because of his reckless clarification. Maybe it was because of the medicine tablets he carried with him. Maybe it was because of the strange prenuptial agreement. Maybe it was because I was certain that I would meet his eyes if I turned back. It seems that people lose their ability to distinguish things that are easily within their reach. They always look towards the glitzy and bright places and don't think about what's beside them. After a long silence, Sebastian's breathing gradually stabilized, and the sparkle in his eyes dimmed. He slightly furrowed his brows, straightened up, and the pressure on me gradually subsided. I was just delusional. His dry and hoarse voice was filled with exhaustion after shouting himself hoarse. I don't know where I got the strength from, but my right hand hooked the edge of his collar, and my left hand slid across his chest. In Sebastian's almost dazed eyes, I curled my lips. "I'll give you a chance, but I need to check the goods first." The season was approaching winter, and the morning light was hazy, as if shrouded in mist, exuding a chill. I sleepily shrank deeper into the quilt, getting closer to the source of heat. My hair was stroked gently but firmly. The person behind me spoke, and his chest vibrated slightly. "Helen said you need to be on set before 9 o'clock this morning. It's time to get up." Sure enough, I knew there must be a mole. Otherwise, how could Sebastian have gotten the keycard to my room? I bet he was the one who instigated Helen to make those god-awful nutritious meals every day. I snorted coldly and closed my eyes even tighter. Sebastian rubbed my head with his chin. "Wife? Hey, don't call me that casually. The packaging is opened, and the goods are checked. I don't have the option of a 7-day return without reason." I pretended to be troubled, but this goods is just so. After hearing this, Sebastian didn't get angry but laughed instead, raising his voice. "I don't know who said last night that the sound insulation in the room was bad and asked me to." I quickly covered his mouth before he could say anything more nonsense and commanded him fiercely, "Hurry up and help me get dressed. I need to go to work." He pursed his lips and let out a sigh, obediently lowering his head. "Yes, Your Majesty." After a month and a half of peace, I finally realized that a heartbreaker as beautiful as me will eventually get her comeuppance. Director, why do you have to shoot one shot 100 times and then tell everyone that the first shot was the best? The filming of all the scenes in City B that was originally scheduled to be completed in 20 days has been delayed, and even now, the progress is still less than half. According to him, there's no other film crew competing for the location in the mountains. So just keep filming. City B has a high altitude, and in winter, there's a lingering cold that never dissipates. With insufficient supplies and a slim hope of finishing the filming, every actor feels like they've been sentenced to life imprisonment. Desperate and dull. "Little Sherry, go and ask your assistant to pick up the supplies." I came back to my senses. It was the specially invited foreign actress, Lena. She had cried to me the day before yesterday, saying that she didn't get along with the director at all and would rather smuggle back to her home country than continue filming. At the moment, Lena was struggling to move a huge box, with a bright smile on her face. I was curious and leaned over to take a look. "Milk tea, coffee, Little desserts, fruits, snacks, chocolates, warm patches, blankets, down comforters, wet wipes, slippers, sanitary pants. Has the disaster relief supplies from the court arrived? I was so shocked that I almost drooled on them. Lena had already opened the packaging of the milk tea and took a deep sip. I heard that it's from the new investor of the film crew who came to visit the set and sent these. Besides being able to take these as you like, they've also hired many 5-star chefs to provide everyone with a luxurious dinner. What kind of investor is this? So powerful. But this ostentatious style is strangely familiar. I stepped out of the tent that was temporarily set up for filming. Hundreds of crew members were shopping for free, with boxes in their hands. The producer and the assistant director were happily discussing with the chefs what to have for dinner. The so-called new investor wasn't in sight. My phone vibrated twice in my hand, and I answered it with the phone to my ear. The clear, gentle, and sweet voice on the other end carried a hint of sweetness. Turn around. 3 o'clock direction. Among the faintly visible tree shadows in the distance, Sebastian's knee-length down jacket was slightly open, and he was wearing a hat and a mask. Only his exquisitely beautiful eyebrows and eyes were exposed. Not very eye-catching, but with a strong presence. I didn't go over but looked at him with great interest. Mr. Sebastian, why are you being so generous but not showing your face? I thought only Ryan would do things like seeking the limelight. He spoke slowly and calmly, but unfortunately, the slightly emphasized name revealed his unease. It's just that Ryan also visited the set. I smiled. I already seriously rejected him last month. Are you still jealous? The mist in the mountains floated and piled up. The movement of Sebastian taking off his mask stirred up ripples like broken jade. The corner of his mouth curled up wantonly, and his lip movements overlapped with the sound in the receiver. It's just about replacing the memories. If people only live for certain moments, I hope that the most vivid parts of those moments are only related to you and me. The full text ends. Extra chapter. Sherry's diary. March 27th. Sunny. I had a few drinks and accidentally got Sebastian drunk. He suddenly jumped onto the sofa and started swaying from side to side. I asked him what he was doing. He said he was a sunflower, collecting sunlight to fight the zombies for me. There was only the desire for victory in his determined eyes. I lowered my head and ignored the bullet comments, thinking about who to call. Hee. It turns out that his act of being coquettish while drunk last time was just an act of pretending to be pitiful. May 11th. Cloudy. Recently, Sebastian is on vacation. He dresses up every day and picks me up and drops me off at work. He was a cold and cool guy on Monday, a pure college student on Tuesday, a composed president on Wednesday, a romantic gentleman on Thursday. To avoid unnecessary trouble, he always wears a mask. The makeup artist lady always seemed to want to say something but held back whenever she saw the two of us. Until today. She finally couldn't hold it in and whispered to me, "Lily, you must take good care of your body." Ah, how can I make you believe that they're the same person? July 25th. Light rain turning to clear. I was lying in bed scrolling through short videos when I suddenly saw a 0-frame start. How many times of sexual activity during intercourse is not considered premature ejaculation? The huge sound spread instantly in the air. I was in a flurry and quickly swiped it away, pretending that nothing had happened. Damn popular science doctor. Are you trying to ruin me? Sebastian, who was studying the script, looked over leisurely with a half-smile expression. And then came the midnight. The balcony. The bathroom. The sofa. The makeup artist's sister was right. I really should take care of my body. Woo-woo. The extra chapter is finished.